What is good, everybody? This is TAETRO. Welcome back to the Lo-Fi Lounge. I have been working on an ambient album called Music for Ghosts. The link to pre-save or the link to listen, depending on when you're watching this, is in the description down below. But in making some ambient music, I have been using some different techniques from what I normally do in beat making to create different cool ambient sounds. So today I want to show you one technique that I've been using to make very cool, epic ambient pads. I'll walk you through the entire process in Ableton Live, and I want to thank distrokid for sponsoring today's video, but more about them later. Let's get into making the ambient pads. Alright, so the first thing we'll do here is set up our Ableton project file with 3 MIDI tracks. We're going to choose 3 different sound layers for this ambient pad. The first one I'm going to load up is from Arturia's Jupiter synth. And I'm going to start by playing some lower tones, but mostly just fifths. So I'm going to be playing a C, a G, and a C. This is going to leave a very open harmony, which will work a little bit better for this technique. Let's record about 8 bars of that. Okay, next I'm going to layer in some piano. I'm using another Arturia plugin here, their piano plugin, along with fragments, which is sort of like this granular effects plugin from Arturia as well. It'll add some interesting reverse notes and echoes to the sound. Here I'm going to play slightly more melodically, but you'll notice that I'm not playing any very obvious melodies or patterns throughout any of this. I'm just sort of meandering around some ideas. Now we're playing in a higher register, and we're breaking away from just strictly playing fifths. And lastly, I'm going to choose an additional synth sound, which is made from Ableton Live's operator. It's kind of just a simple sine wave synth sound, but with a few effects on it like reverbs and delays. I'll play sort of a counter melody to the soft piano sound. So now we have what is already kind of this nice bed of sound, but we need to sample it. So we're going to group together these 3 MIDI tracks, and we're going to create a new audio track. On this new audio track, we want to change the track's input to our group that we just created containing our 3 layers of sound. Now let's basically resample or record those 3 layers of sound as one piece of audio. Once you've recorded your audio, we're going to load up the Granulator 2 instrument from the Max for Live devices. But before we drop that into Granulator, I just remembered I have something really important to do. Since my ambient album is done, I need to go upload it on distrokid, who also happens to be the sponsor for today's video. Distrokid is a service that I've been using since I first started in music, since well before they ever sponsored any content, to get my music on all the places it needs to be. Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram Reels, you name it, you upload through distrokid, you can get it there. The reason I chose distrokid in the first place was because it's super convenient to just pay one small annual fee and upload as much music as you want, as opposed to some other services where you have to pay per release. They make the process for uploading your music and your artwork super easy. You can even do it on the distrokid app. You can even upload music from their mobile app. So of course, now that it has come time to get my new ambient album on all the streaming services, I'm going straight to distrokid. Oh hey, check this out. This artwork, I actually painted this artwork. And if you are working on music and you want an easy, convenient way to get your music onto all the streaming platforms, as well as a bunch of other perks that DistroKid offers, you should check my link out in the description down below and you can get 7% off your first annual membership. Thank you again to DistroKid for supporting this channel. Let's drop in that new audio sample that we just recorded from our sound layers into Granulator 2. Now when we first play it, it's not going to sound so special. That's what a granular synth does. It takes a grain of sound and loops it really fast. But there are certain parameters that we can change to actually make it sound a little more interesting. I'm going to start by changing the spray. So if you notice what happened when we were initially playing the notes, it was just staying in one spot. But now with spray, you see that it's taking little grains from different parts of the sample. As you increase the spray, it will take grains from further and further out of that region. Depending on how far out you go, the sound may not be as fluid, or you might have some cool effects depending on your sound sources. Next, we can of course change the file position. We can change where we're actually starting from and where that grain is. If our sample was 8 bars, we have a lot of material there to pull from. So usually I just scan through the sound and try to find a spot where I'm getting some interesting effect. We can of course also change the general size of the grain. And also to note, I'm just playing one note on my keyboard. If I play a lower note, the sample will be slowed down. If I play a higher note, the sample will be played faster. So I tend to play in the lower register for this technique to get a more drawn out ambient pad sound. Of course, if we add some reverb to this, it will sound great as well. Built into the Granulator 2, you can go into the filter view and change things like the amp envelope, the filter. Sometimes we don't need all that low rumble in the bottom. Once you have a sound that you're happy with, you can group together Granulator plus any other effects you put on it into an instrument rack. Rename that instrument rack to anything you want, then drag and drop it into your user library. Now you can pull this up in any future project that you want. And you can start to build a library of sounds that are truly yours, that you crafted. On that note, let me pull one out called Movie End Drone that I created. This is in my user library, and I used the same exact technique to create this drone. I really like how this one sounds, and one thing I've been loving doing is letting some of these drones just play, and then playing over them with something like a piano instrument. Actually, that's how the first track on my new ambient album was created. Okay, if you yourself are gonna give this a try, let me know. Record, make your ambient pads, tag me on Twitter, on your Instagram story, let me hear what they sound like. Obviously, you can try this a number of different ways with a number of different combinations of sounds to get different results, and I'm really interested to see what you all come up with. If you did enjoy the sounds that you are hearing, please give a listen to my new ambient album, Music for Ghosts. The link is down in the description. And thank you again to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. That's going to be it for now. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.